So the moment your dog starts staring, all you gotta do is, hey, what you got? Hey, how you doing? Hey, I like you now, okay? Hey, what's that dog over here? How you doing? Hey, oh, hey, what you got there? All right. It's called redirecting the dog. Before the dog gets to the point where the dog is lunging, basically we redirect the mind. We get the dog to focus on something else instead of the other dog. But if Christina lets me stare at this dog until I get to the point where I'm growling, it's too late already. So watch your dog. When your dog's hanging out, if they start to stare at another dog, at that point, kind of redirect them a little bit. You're not rewarding them for doing it. Basically, you're giving their mind something else to focus on. This is an unfair environment to your dog. I'm going to be honest with you. This is an unfair environment to your dog. Let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you have kids or if you've ever been around kids. Okay? Would you take a 10-year-old to Disneyland and ask them to do a math test in the middle of Disneyland? Right? It'd be unfair, correct? This is kind of like Disneyland to your dog. There is so much going on here. There's other dogs. They probably have never been around this many dogs in a closed environment. This is extremely hard on them. Plus, we're going to ask them to learn complex behaviors, and we're kind of basically setting them up for failure. So, excuse me, I don't mind if your dog is a little unruly. In fact, I like that your dog is excited. I want your dog to come here and say, hey, I'm excited, I want to learn. After your third week of being here, I guarantee your dog is going to get out of the car like, oh, man, I want to go in there. The reason being is I like training. The reason being is they're going to think, oh, man, when I'm there, I get really high reward food. I like this, okay? Not that they're going to come in here, oh, Dad's going to poke me with a stick. Or every time I look at another dog, he's going to go shh and step on me or something like that, okay? So training is supposed to be fun. We want your dogs to enjoy fun. Sorry, we want your dogs to enjoy training. So let's talk about the food. If you notice on my email I sent out, there are some particular types of bait to bring, right? If you did not bring that bait, please do not think I'm picking on you. After tonight, it'll make perfectly good sense. So let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you ever had a job. All right, cool, everybody, right? Okay. If you were earning $5 an hour, but your boss promised you, in a month you'll earn $20 an hour. And after 3 months, you never got that $20 raise. Would you keep working? Yeah, right? You'd probably go find another job, right? But what happens if you're getting paid $50 an hour? Would you leave for any reason? Okay, what happens if you're getting paid $100 an hour? Would you leave? Okay, but let's say you're getting paid for $100 an hour for a year, and your boss comes to you and says, oh man, I can't pay you for a week. Would you quit your job? Think about it. You got paid $100 an hour for a year, and your boss comes to you and says, I can't pay you for a week. Would you quit your job? I sure wouldn't. For a week, heck no. Because I know after a week after not getting paid, I'd start getting paid $100 an hour. Okay? This is kind of goes back to the value of food. So a lot of times people say, well, why can't I just bring my dog's kibble? Or why can't I just bring some store-bought treats I use at home all the time? In your home environment, your dog probably really enjoys those. But your dog gets tired of it. Plus, we're in a high stress area. We're in a very distractible area. So if we ask your dog to come here and only work for $5 an hour, most likely they're going to be, hey, this dog over here means way more than you. I want you guys to be more valuable than the dogs around them. Like right now, your dog's about to bark. Guarantee it. Your dog too. There you go. Good job. And I know it's kind of hard sometimes to even see it, but trust me. So if you're using a kibble when you take them outside of your home environment, most likely your dog's not going to do really well. Okay? So that's the first lesson about food. The second lesson is it affects our learning curve. Animals work on a learning, everybody works on a learning curve, especially animals. We always want to increase the learning curve, not decrease the learning curve. If Christina over here, can I use it again?
Sure.
Let's say Christina's teaching me how to sit because I sit really well. Yes, you can laugh at my wheelchair jokes. I do it all the time. So Christina's asking me to sit.
Sit.
Okay, and she lures me into a sit. My butt goes down. Okay, and she feeds me this crunchy treat. All right, and I'm sitting there chewing, and I drop crumbs on the ground because it's all crunchy, and I drop little pieces, and it takes me like 3 minutes to digest the food. And then she's gonna do it again. Well, dogs learn in repetitive, okay? If we can do 10 behaviors in a 1 minute time frame, the dog is gonna learn the behavior quicker than if we do 10 behaviors in a 5-minute time frame. Does that make sense? We want to increase the learning curve, not decrease it. So if Christina asks me to sit again,
sit.
She gives me a hot dog,
Hey.
2 chews, hey, I'm ready to do that again.
Sit.
2 chews, I'm ready to do it again. Now what happens to my learning curve? Now the dog is going to learn the behavior quicker. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is why I encourage people to use hot dogs, cheese, something malleable, something soft. The dog takes 2 or 3 chews and is like, all right, I'm ready to do again. If you feed your dog something crunchy, hard, takes a while to digest it, it affects our learning curve. Plus, we're in a stressful environment, and the higher value you can be and the higher value food you can be, the better off your dog, the more success you're going to have with your dog. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions so far? Okay, good. Okay, so let's talk about equipment for a minute. Can you grab a collar for me? I think most of you guys actually have a prong collar, but we're going to talk about it a little bit here. So who here has not seen one of these? Hold it up, please. Until tonight. Okay, you guys already have one. Okay, so I think actually everybody has one actually on, except for the shepherd and the boxer.
I have one in the car.
You have one in your car? Okay. So let's talk about some principles behind it. When you look at it, it looks like an instrument of death, right? Of torture. Like this is something you'd see on 50 Shades of Grey or something, right? So, don't model it. Okay. However, let's talk about some mechanics here. Do you know this collar is actually nicer on the dog's neck than this big flat collar? Can anybody tell me why? Say that one more time, what? Okay, nope, looking for something else? Yes? Oh, you're almost there. Yeah, she's got it. Okay, so it works on weight distribution. Let me ask you, you guys ever seen a magician lay on a bed of nails? You ever seen that trick? Okay, for those who don't never seen the trick, basically what's happened is they'll have a piece of plywood. Hold on to that for a minute. They'll have a piece of plywood. They'll put 10,000 nails in it. A magician will lay on the bed of nails. They'll crush a block of ice on them, and everybody goes, wow, right? Okay? It's all about surface area. If we take away half the nails, spread the nails out, there's no way the magician could ever do the trick. Why? Because we create less surface area. So this collar has basically a bunch of contact points all around the dog's neck. When the dog pulls, it evenly distributes the weight evenly around the dog's neck, and it makes it uncomfortable for the dog to pull. Okay? So when this dog pulls on this collar, or any dog that's on a flat collar pulls on a flat collar, all the pressure is being put on one part of the neck, and that's a soft tissue. The under part of the neck of any animal, you have the throat, the larynx, you have a bunch of soft tissues underneath there. If you ever seen a dog that pulls a lot on leashes over the years, you'll actually hear the dog rasper, because what's happening is the tissue is breaking down underneath the dog's neck because of years of pulling on the leash. Yes, you guys are here to train your dog, and that's one of the things that in the 4th week we're going to work on is teach your dog not to pull on the leash. However, this is I won't say quick fix, but it is a good alternative while you're teaching your dog. So let's talk about some mechanics, how to use it. Before I got into dogs, I was really into horses. I loved horses. Besides the 2 ladies here, anybody here been around horses? Okay, anybody here walk a horse? Okay, how can we walk a 2,000-pound animal, or 18-pound, or 15,000, or 100? How? Okay, besides luring, if we weren't luring the animal, how would we do it? Do what? Hold their head. Okay, basically what I was looking for is a halter. So a halter goes around the head, right? Not talking about the bit in the mouth. I'm talking about where does the lead go on the halter? Goes exactly almost the furthest part from the horse. Okay, I grew up on a pig farm. We had these pliers that actually went inside the pig's nose, and they're not. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's these pliers that have these big balls on the ends, and basically it doesn't hurt the pig, but it goes inside the nose. Wherever the nose goes of the pig, basically the pig had to follow. Kind of. So the lead goes underneath the chin of the horse, and wherever the head goes, basically the animal basically almost has to follow. So when you put a collar on the dog, the higher up behind the ears, the more control you're going to have. So if your prong collar tonight slips down by the shoulders, you want to make sure when you go home, you take a link out of the collar. Can you show them how to take a link out for me? So each link basically interlocks with each other. Okay, and you just take a link out and you size it accordingly. So you want to try to keep the link up behind the ears as much as possible. Wherever the head goes, the rest of the animal has to go. The more the animal can put their head down and use their shoulders to get more leverage, the more the dog is going to pull you. Does that make sense? I noticed some of your guys' collar, like this dog here needs to take a link out. Of course, this dog here has never had one on. So if they actually purchased one, they need to take a link out. Okay? Okay, a real quick note, if you have difficulty taking on and off your dog, this young lady here in the back actually owns the building. She sells these that have a little metal snap on them. She's the only one in the valley that sells the ones with the metal snap. So if you're interested in one and you want to take it off easier and on and off easier, you can talk to her after class, okay? All right, let's move forward. Most of your leashes are okay. Yes?
I have a question about the prong collar. Is that the same concept as the martingale collar?
Oh, that's a really good point. So I'm not a big fan of the martingale collar for a couple different reasons. I've seen too many dogs back out of them, get out of them, and just kind of slip out of them.
It's supposed to happen at all.
It's not, but I mean, there's no fail-safe on any equipment.
I guess not.
Okay, so like prong collar is actually notorious for sometimes popping open. So you always want to do a backup lead. I don't like the martingale because basically the dog can still pull. They just find a different way to pull. And the prong collar really helps the dog. If the dog charges out of the end of the leash, they kind of check themselves and realize, hey, that's no fun anymore. The martingale, I'm just really not a fan of them.
All right, no, fair enough. All right, I'm glad I asked.
Okay, good question. Your leashes are fine. I'm not a big fan of flexi leashes for training. I don't think anybody has a flexi leash, so we're good. You're not required to have a bait bag. However, if you're really going to work with your dog and you're really going to get into this, get a bait bag. The hot dog, the plastic bags are nice and all, but it's kind of a pain to reach in your pocket, especially when you need to mark a behavior, which we'll talk about in a minute. So if you need to feed the dog right away, it's kind of difficult to grab that plastic bag out of your pocket, open it up. A bait bag like this hanging up here is really handy. They're about 20 bucks. They're easy, they're washable, they go around your waist, they're really handy. Okay? All right, so let's talk about marking behavior. Science tells us that we have a 2.3 second time period in order to mark a behavior for the dog to coincide what they did correctly. Okay? So, can I use you again, Christina? So let's say Christina's teaching me how to look at her face. Okay? I'm looking around and she says, look.
Look.
And I look at her face and then she takes 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Oh, good boy.
And then she rewards me. Okay? That's kind of weird. I'm the dog. Okay. Okay, and then she does that again. Tell me, look.
Look.
I look at her. Hey, where's the reward? Hey, where's the... Okay. Oh, what do you want? And it went off, okay? So what's happening is the dog is not coinciding what they did in order to get the reward, okay? However, if she says, look, I look, and then I get rewarded. Hey, wait a minute. That was kind of fun. Hey, what the heck was that?
Look.
Hey, I kind of like this, okay? So 2.3 seconds is kind of a good time interval, thank you. A good time interval to think about when to reward your dog. If you wait too long, our learning curve decreases. We want to increase our learning curve, okay? So always be ready to reward. Always be ready to reward quickly. If you are not ready to reward in the beginning stages, don't ask your dog to do anything. If you want a consistent dog, you'll always be ready to reward, okay? Over time, which we'll talk about in a minute, you won't have to reward so often and so quick, but in the beginning stages, you want to make sure. So let's talk about reward system here real quick. Who here has ever played a slot machine? Oh, come on, we can be honest. Probably everybody. I love asking that question. People always look around at other people. Okay, does anybody raise their hand? You know, are they going to judge me? No, okay, I played a slot machine too, so don't feel bad about it. So, how does a slot machine keep us there? Any idea? Reward, okay. Okay. I'm looking for something a little better. What? The chance of a big reward, right? Okay. So, what would happen if we sat down the machine, we pulled the lever 50 times and never won anything? Would we keep doing it? Okay, probably not. Even Even if there was a $1,000 reward, after 50 times, would we really sit there and do it? Probably not. We'd probably try to find something better, right? So this is what happens in our dog training. What happens is we start off really good. Everybody starts using food when they're a puppy. But then after a couple weeks, we get away from it. And what happens is we ask the dog to do 50 behaviors, never reward. And now the dog starts thinking. The dog starts reasoning. In Odie's case, let's say the dog said, hey, I like that foal out there. These are my good friends, they're horse breeders. Let's say the dog says, hey, I like that horse out there. I like playing with that horse. Mom's calling me. Wait a minute. Mom's a value of $5. That's a value of 500. What choice do you think the dog is going to get? Right, the horse. But what happens if Odie for a complete year, every time she said come to the dog ran to her and then she gave the dog $500. Now what happens? Now the horse is like, screw that horse, or now the dog's like, screw the horse, I want to come running to mom. Okay? So what happens is too often we get away from reinforcing the behaviors. We get in the habit of just calling the dog and not rewarding. So the first lesson I really want you guys to think about is, how often are you guys rewarding? Are you guys being consistent? Okay? So dog training is about simple mathematics. 2 plus 2 should always equal 4. 2 plus 2 always equals 4. This young family here, they have your daughter's what, 2 years of age? 3? 3. Let's say they start teaching the dog 2 plus 2. And today they teach the daughter equals 4. Okay? Next week they teach the daughter equals 8. Then the next week they teach it equals 16. After a month, will the daughter learn what 2 plus 2 equals? Probably not. It'd actually probably be really confusing on the daughter, right? Okay? So dog training is about simple communication, consistency, and high reward. So if you guys have anybody at home, it's really, really, really important that you go home and teach whoever's involved with the dog's life exactly what to do. If this young lady here goes home and she doesn't teach her husband what to do, and her husband says, hey, I'm a man, I can treat the dog, and he does his own thing, and she comes to class and she's doing something different, it's not fair to the dog, right? Okay? Animals cannot reason like you and I do. This is the one thing that that separates humans from animals, okay? Humans can think outside the box. Humans can reason. Animals don't necessarily reason like you and I do, okay? A good point is this. If you're playing ball with your dog and the ball bounces across the street, does your dog think about the consequences of the cars, or does your dog just think about the ball? Okay? However, this young girl here, at 3 years of age, her parents can teach her the dangers of cars, and the daughter can make a choice and say, hey, there's a ball across the street. Wait, mom and dad taught me about cars. I should not go do that. Okay? So dogs do not think like you and I do. Even though we invite them into our houses, even though we invite them into our lives and we say we love them and things like that, they are still animals. You know, when I look at your dogs, what I see a goat. I do. I see a goat. I see a horse. I see a pig. Ask yourself this. If you had a horse and your horse kicks somebody and breaks their leg, does animal control come out to you and give you a ticket? Do they want to take the horse and quarantine it and put it to sleep? Then why do they do that with the dog? Think about it. Why do they do that with the dog? The reason being is we always think the dog should know better. We always think the dog should reason like you and I do. It is still an animal. So the reason why I'm really pushing this behavior, or this thought process, is I want you guys to remember, even though you guys can let's say tonight your dog does really good. You can't go home and think your dog is just going to do amazing because your dog just learned it once. Your dog is still an animal. It still thinks like an animal. It does not necessarily obtain and retain like you and I do. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So let's get to the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to learn. We're going to learn engagement. Somebody give me a definition when they hear the word engagement. What engagement means? Yes.
All your attention on
Okay, touch on one thing. Okay, anything else?
Wanting.
Wanting, I like that. Okay. Anything else come to mind? Yes. Relationship. You've watched my videos. What do you say? Reciprocating. You guys are all correct. Okay. So, if you take anything from this class, anything at all, engagement is 90% obedience. I'm going to say it again. Engagement is 90% obedience. Okay. Obedience is easy. Building relationship with your dog, having engagement is really where the big struggle comes in here. So I'm going to give you an example with my friend Christina here. Okay, so let's say I'm Christina, and Christina has an untrained dog. I'm going to be her untrained dog, and she decides one day to take me to the park. Remember, I'm untrained.
Let's go.
And she just takes me off leash and starts throwing the frisbee. All right, I go chase the frisbee. Well, I'm chasing the frisbee. Hey, I see a dog. How you doing, right? How you doing? Hey, got you, good dog, right? She tries to call me. Yeah, I hear ya. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? I hear ya. Okay, hey, how you doing? Okay, where's my engagement? What am I more interested in? Mom or the dog? Right, okay. Now, here's what happens. And this happens all the time. Now, mom gets upset. Okay, what does mom do? Yeah, mom starts chasing. When she's chasing me, what is she doing? No, she's
yelling at you.
Yeah.
Jason, get over
No,
here.
I don't.
I'm gonna kick
Okay.
your-
Now she starts saying come.
Come.
You're mad at me. Why would I ever want to come to you? Okay. Now every time she says come, I'm moving away from her. What is she teaching? Yeah. Two things here. The word come means something bad is going to happen. Two, I don't want to be caught. Okay? Now, we laugh at this. But it happens all the time. And normally what happens is, here, Christina, come catch me.
Come catch you?
Yeah. What she'll do is she'll grab me and she'll punish me. No, why did you do that? Why did you?
Dog.
Okay, now,
to the
thank you.
pound.
Now, what did I just learn?
It's not fun to come.
No, I don't want to be caught. And if mom comes near me, I never want to get caught again, right? Okay, so now let's reverse that. Let's say I'm Christina's son, okay? And every day she walks up to me and she hands me $100 for no good reason.
There you go.
Wow, mom, thanks.
You bet.
Okay, next day, I'm just hanging out.
There you go.
Hey, $100. Hey, thanks, mom.
You bet.
Hey, I kind of like you.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Pretty cool.
mom, after a week. Hey, thanks,
you
mom. Hey, mom, got the money?
right,
hey,
there you
hey,
go.
I really. Okay, now, she's giving me $100. That dog is $5. Where's my engagement now? Hey, why would I ever want to leave your side? Is this making sense? Okay, so engagement is not obedience. Engagement is teaching your dog that you are higher value than anything else, that you are fun, you are like, oh man, you're awesome. Okay, I have a puppy in the car. He is 8 months old when I import him I import him 8 weeks. He's 8 months now. All I do for the first months of his life is engagement. We get food out, we get toys out, we play with the dog, play with the dog, play with the dog, play with the dog. When I can go out, I have a little training area. When I go out my training area, my dog is all over me, barking at me, jumping on me, saying, all right, Dad. At that point, I start what you guys would consider formal obedience. We call it shaping behaviors, but what you guys would call formal obedience. At that point, I start training, but not until the dog gives me the engagement. Does this make sense? Okay, let me ask you this. If you guys had a bank account and you had $5 in it, would you ever write a check for $100 and give it to somebody? Okay, why not? Because you don't have enough in your account to cover the check, right? Okay? So dog training is basically like this. Every time you go play and engage with your dog, you're depositing into your bank account. You're putting money in. You're putting money in. You're putting money in. Okay? For weeks, months, you put money into your bank account. Put money into your bank account. Now, when you start training the dog, you start withdrawing out your bank account. If you have $1 million in your bank account, and every time you train your dog, you're only taking 10, 20 bucks out, is it going to be that harmful to the dog? Are you really asking that much from the dog? Okay? Does this concept make sense? So engagement is really, 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 really important, okay? How do we get engagement? There's a couple different ways. I'm going to teach you guys with food, but you guys can also use toys. Toys sometimes affect our learning curve because once the dog gets the toy, a lot of times the dog wants to covet the toy, take off with it. They don't want to necessarily bring it back to us. And so by the time we get the toy back, now our learning curve kind of diminishes. So food is actually better than a toy, unless your dog is like, gets a toy and says, oh man, I want to bring it back to you to play. Then you can use a toy, okay? So Christina's going to have a little handful of food here. Okay. Diane, will you look at their prong collar and okay. Have her look at your prong collar. I don't want that to come off with a link like that, okay? Okay, actually here. Marianne, will you please help with that prong collar? Diane, be sure her fingers are gonna be stronger. Let her do it, please. Sorry, I didn't want his collar to come off. The way he has it, it'll pop off. Okay, so she has a handful of food. Okay, right now I'm just kind of hanging out, looking at this dog over here. Hey, what you got? Okay, she's gonna move back and she's gonna feed me. Good, and she's gonna move a different direction. All right, this is fun, okay? And all she's doing is feeding me. All right, oh man, this is fun. All right, okay? It's just a simple game of keeping away from your dog and feeding your dog while you're doing it. We're not asking the dog to do any complex behavior. We're just asking the dog, hey, follow me. The more you follow me, the exciting you get, the more I'm gonna feed you. That's all we're doing, okay? All right, so periodically I'm going to ask for a volunteer to be a quick demo dog for me before everybody does it. If you don't like to perform in front of everybody, you're welcome to pass. But if you would be a demo dog, that'd be great. I'm actually going to ask this young lady here if she would mind being a demo dog. The reason being is she has a puppy, and puppies really are good for this. Can I use you? Okay. All right, I'm going to first ask you, what do you have for food? You have elk?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Can I have...
My dad hunts, and I have a bunch in the freezer, and I thought that was probably pretty high value, so I gave half to my husband and half to the dog.
So, you and your husband want to invite me over for dinner? I mean, here, come on
Next time we
out. Come on
approach,
out.
we could.
Come on out.
All right, so...
This is how I get fed. I just randomly ask people what they're feeding their dog, and then I invite myself to dinner. Okay, wait, hold on for a minute. So, let's try something here. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh my gosh, she's already engaged.
Yeah,
all right,
he's
so
all mine.
she's a little ahead of me. I was going to try to distract the dog a little bit. Okay, don't do anything yet. So let me ask you this. Don't ask him to sit yet, okay? Can I use you for a minute? Okay. If you go home and you hug, if you give your spouse or your significant other a hug like this to the side, if you do that for a week, what is your significant other gonna think after a week of doing that? Yeah, what's wrong, right? Okay, but thank you. If you give your a spouse a hug straight on, you're probably thinking everything's okay, right? This guy here, I imagine if his wife gave him a hug like that for a week, he'd bring her flowers the next week, right? Okay, so the point I'm trying to make with this young lady is she was feeding the dog to the side. That's not very relationship building, okay? I want her to feed with the dog in front of her because that's more inviting. That's more of like...
Probably my whole hand too. Huh?
Exactly, okay? Okay, so bring in a good handful of food. Bigger handful. Do me a favor, can you hold on to her leash? She's just gonna hold her in leash. That way you have both hands, okay? So I want you to feed out of both hands. Okay. Oh, good. I want you to talk to her. I want you to feed her. No, one piece at a time. Good. Walk backwards, one piece at a time. Good. Good. Your dogs are gonna get excited in a moment. Good. Okay, come this way. Good. Come this way. I want you to move a little bit quicker. A little bit quicker. Follow her. Follow her. Follow her. Good. Good. Okay, stop for a minute. Just stop there. Kitty, 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 kitty. Now, how much is the dog engaged right now? Is the dog distracted by me at all? Kitty, 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 kitty. Not much at all, right? Now this dog is ready to learn. Okay, and good job. Take your dog.
One more.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, wait a minute. I'm paying this guy $100 to teach me to be goofy and feed my dog. Okay, it's not about that, guys. I know it seems really simplistic, but it's not about that. This is about relationship building. Before you can get your dog to even sit to down, you have to get your dog ready to learn. Imagine opening the, I don't believe in third eye, but imagine you're getting your dog's brain ready to learn. You guys remember in school your teachers say eyes forward? You guys remember that? Eyes forward, right? Why did they do eyes forward? Because we realized if the brain is focused on whatever the task is going to be, we're going to obtain it better. If we're looking outside the window and thinking, hey, I want to go play at the playground, most likely our brain's not going to be focused on the teacher's lesson. This is all we're doing with your dog. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. How many dogs do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 7. We have an extra dog. Huh. Okay. We're going to do this. To save on time, I'm going to have from this shepherd to the boxer. Actually, I'm going to let her do your collar. I'm going to have you four from the pit bull mix to the shepherd. You guys are going to stand up. Okay? I just want you to pull out a little handful of food. Okay? Spread out a little bit. And I just want you to do a little engaging with your dog. Just do one little handful of food and then sit back down. Try to get your dog to follow your hand. Try to get your dog excited about the food, not excited about the other dog. You can talk to the dog a little bit, whatever you want to do. I just want your dog to get a little engaged with you. Okay? Just like you saw the other shepherd do.
He's more interested in you.
Yes, good. Feed him another one. Right away. Feed him another one. Okay, you're a little too slow, Dad. I want you to feed a little. Okay, walk backwards. Feed him a little quicker. Feed. Oh, yes, he is. Just paying attention to me. Yes. Good. Feed him another one. Feed him another one. Okay. Can I pick on Odie for a minute? You need to be goofy. Oh, Cooper! Right. Now, why do you just get excited about me? Be an idiot like me. That's the best thing I can tell you. Be an idiot like me. Okay, hold on. Can you, Ashley, Rebecca, will you hold Cooper for a minute? Okay, take Cooper for a minute. No, it's okay. Let her jump on him. She knows. It's okay. Okay, ready? Show him the food. Show him the food. Okay, run away from. Go away from right now. Hey, puppy, puppy, puppy! Oh, stop, stop, stop! Don't move, don't move. Come up and feed him. Feed him. Good. Go away from him. Go away from him. Stop. And come up and feed him. Oh, now he's excited about you. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go. Don't let him go to that dog. Okay, come up to him. Oh. Now you mean more, okay? You're,
The game.
yeah, now look. Now he's, I know I can't be your friend right now. Diane, my camera's up there. Will you take photos, please? Yes. There, feed him another one. Feed him another one, right now. Okay, don't say puppy now. Now feed him another one. Good, feed him another one. Okay, now follow her. Walk backwards. Walk backwards. Yes, good, Odie. And feed, 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 feed. Yes, feed, feed. Every time I say feed, you should be feeding him. Yes, good job. Yes, there it is.
There you go. You didn't drop it.
There it is. Okay, go sit back down. You did really good. Good. Okay, sit back down. You did really good. Aha, you got your collar sized correctly. How's he doing? She doing?
Hard. The prongs are really splayed out.
Oh, on yours?
Yeah, it's really hard to pull it apart.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Ooh, Andy. How far out there's
Oh, yeah.
splayed out, it's hard to.
You probably bought it from PetSmart, huh?
I don't know. She's the one that bought that.
Gotcha, okay.
I've been using it like that, and I run with her a lot, and she does.
But you're slipping over the head, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's too big. If you slip it over the head, it's too big.
Alright.
Plus, you take a chance of poking the eye out.
Can you please?
Okay, why don't you guys sit back down?
I'm sorry, Mandy, I can't.
Okay, actually, you guys are the only ones left. You already did this. Here, stand up. I'm gonna have you do it again. Who's gonna work with the dog?
We didn't bring food. He's not real motivated with food.
You didn't bring food at all?
I didn't know.
Did you get my email?
I have an extra
Do you want to try them?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a mom. I just can't help but
Oh,
look back. 'Cause
what a great mom. All right. Who's going to try to work with the dog?
These two.
Yeah. Okay.
He might be.
Oh, yes. He's going to eat the hot dogs. Are you kidding me? Yes, feed him. Feed him right now. Feed him one. Good job. Oh, there we go.
Do you eat it?
Down there.
Okay, did you feed him this morning? Okay, don't feed him on days we meet.
Oh, okay.
That's going to make a huge difference.
I just have to
Okay, I tell you what. To save on time, you guys just sit there and feed it. Just kind of give me hot dogs, okay?
There's stuff, it's quite expensive, but they have it in the cold case at Walmart, and I can't get him to do stuff with that. The regular treats, he'll take them out of my hand. Drop
Have you
them.
ever used hot dogs or cheese?
He does like cheese. I gave him.
Okay,
cheese.
get some string cheese. Use some string cheese, okay? All right. All right. So now you notice as soon as you guys started doing that, your dogs all the dogs got excited, right? Okay, that's good. Engagement is about being excited. Did you guys see any difference with your dog after that? Or like, hey, this is kind of fun. Now look at Odie's dog. So I'm gonna pick on my friend Odie here. Odie spends a lot of time with the dog, okay, which is kind of sometimes a bad thing because the dog's always with her. Dog's like, oh, I see mom, no big deal. So Odie has to be a little bit different in order to get the dog engaged. What we did is we used a little bit of separation anxiety. We had somebody hold the dog while Odie run away. Now the dog's like, oh man, mom's going away from me. I don't want mom to go away from me. And the dog got excited. Sometimes we have to think outside the box. This young lady back here, they didn't understand to bring food, which is perfectly fine. Plus, you said her dog's like a finicky eater. One of the things you guys can do is don't feed your dogs on the day we meet. A hungry dog is a working dog. Let me ask you this. If in the wild a wolf walked out, or there was a wolf den, and the deer every morning walked up to the den, laid in front of the den and said, okay, I'm here. After a month, will the wolves hunt anymore? No. What does the wolf do? The wolf wakes up in the morning and says, man, I'm hungry. I have to go catch my dinner. By catching their dinner, they're learning how to catch. They're learning behaviors by wanting to eat, by hunger, okay? So if you find that your dog's not really energetic about the food, don't feed them anytime the day we meet or even the night before. Us three, we compete in a dog sport that comes from Europe. We do tracking with our dog. Our dog goes out and they basically track where somebody's walked up to a quarter mile. We want our dogs to be able to find every spot that the person stepped. We do this by food. We want our dogs to be very motivated. I don't feed my dog the night before training, and I don't feed my dog until we get to training. Why? Because I want my dog to be hungry. So if you find that your dog is not really energetic about food, withhold food, try a different food, okay? All right, so let's move on to the second thing we're gonna learn. It's another really, really important thing right up there with engagement. It's called the free command. Anybody know what the release command or free means besides Odie? Odie's taken my class before, I'm sorry. Yes?
I'm kind of a cheater though, so I watch. Just that they're done training, that they're done doing, they can go be a dog.
You got it, okay. So everything in dog training has a beginning and an end. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Everything in dog training has a beginning and an end. If we ask the dog to do a behavior, it's the beginning of a behavior, but there has to be an end to behavior. Raise your hand if you have kids again. Okay? If you put your child in a thank you. If you put your child in a timeout, and your child got to choose how long timeout would be, how long do you think they'd choose? Normally I have like a child in my class, and I ask in that class, and they look at me like I'm stupid, right? Okay. So if they got to choose how long timeout would be, they probably would not choose like a second, right? If that at all. Okay, your dog's the same way. If your dog gets to choose how long they have to do behavior, how long do you think your dog's really going to choose it? Not at all, right? I guarantee my dogs would much rather go chase a squirrel than to play with me. Much rather. Why? Because the squirrel is much more enjoyable. So anytime you ask your dog to do something, there has to be an end to the dog. Okay, for instance, I'm going to use my friend Christina here again. So Christina asked me to sit.
Sit.
Okay, I sit, she rewards me. Then she gets a phone call. It's on her phone. All right, and I get up and I wander away, and nothing happens. Okay, what did I just learn? Okay, next time, same thing happens. She asks me to sit.
Sit.
Okay? Her husband asks her something. Oh, hey, mom disconnected? Guess what? Guess what I can do? So now what behavior is she inadvertently teaching me? That I get to choose how long I do a behavior. Okay? If your dog goes into a crate, they need to stay in that crate until you release them. If a dog is in the back of your pickup truck, they need to stay in the pickup until you tell them it's okay to get out. Why would you ever want to let your dog just jump out of the crate or out of the vehicle? And I don't like dogs in back of vehicles. I'm not encouraging you to put your dog in the back of a vehicle. But I'm using the example, okay? If you ask your dog to leave steak alone on your table, why would you ever want to let your dog know it's okay at any time to go get it? Does that make sense? So later in next class, we're going to teach dogs how to leave food alone. But if your dog doesn't understand the concept of mom and dad tell me when it's okay not to do, or when I'm done with the behavior, they're going to start choosing when to do it on their own. Does that make sense? Okay? It's kind of like this young lady here. Mom's making cookies. She tells her daughter that she can't have one. But when mom's not looking, her daughter just steals a little piece. Just a little piece. What would a little piece turn into? Exactly. Pretty soon, what's the child doing? He's stealing a whole cookie, okay? So everything has a beginning and an end. If you ask your dog to down, the dog has to be released from the down or go to another behavior. If you ask the dog to sit, the dog needs to be released from the sit or go to another behavior. So if Christina asks me to sit, okay?
Sit.
Okay, she can either tell me free,
Free.
and training's over, or she can say come.
Sit. Come.
Okay, I come to her, and then she releases me.
Free.
Or she asks me to do something else. Does this make sense? So this is really, 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 really important. Everything in dog training has a beginning and an end. Okay? So, how do we teach the free command? There's a couple different ways. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, you got free? Okay? A couple different ways. I'm going to have you start off by doing this. Christina's going to ask me to sit.
Sit.
Okay, she rewards me for the sit. Okay? And then she's ready to teach me free.
Free.
She's going to take a piece of food and just toss it. And I go grab it. And I sniff the ground a little bit, and now I'm free. Okay? After a couple days of doing that, or a week of doing that, then all you have to do is do this.
Free.
And she feeds me. Okay? She basically kind of just jumps up, throws her hands up, and says, okay, I'm free. It's much like this. If you put your kids in a timeout, and you walk up to the child, and you tap the child on the shoulders, and you hug them, most likely they know it's okay now to get up, right? Because they know, okay, hey, punishment. I'm not saying free is punishment, but basically the child knows, okay, now it's okay to get up. Does that make sense? So everything has a beginning and an end. Okay. So, next thing we're going to learn. We are going to teach your dogs how to down correctly. Raise your hand if you've taught your dog to down already.
Perhaps not the right way, but he lays down.
Okay? Okay, now, raise your hand if you've taught your dog to down without sitting first. You must have watched my videos. No?
I did it before I watched your video, and then when I watched the video, I was like, oh.
Good job, okay?
I was like, oh no.
I get down without sitting? All right, good. So, can anybody tell me why it's faulty to teach your dog to sit and then down?
If I want my dog to lay down, he better do it now because something's hit the fan. Is how I've always done it with my other dogs.
She's almost correct. Yes, down in mechanics, when talking about body mechanics in animals, down is easier for the dog to do when they're standing, okay? But we don't want to confuse the muscle memories. If we do sit and then down too many times, what's the dog going to naturally learn happens after sit? Then the dog downs, right? The dog's not stupid. The dog realizes, hey, I get a paycheck if my body does this. Why would I ever want to stay in a sit? I'll just down. The problem is most people don't know how to teach their dog how to down correctly without doing sit first. Because in our minds, it kind of makes sense. Well, if we get half the dog's body down, it's easy to get the rest, right? But what we don't know is we're actually confusing the dog on sit later, okay? So I need a demo dog. Anybody want to be a demo dog for me? All right, come out, young man. Do you mind be a leash holder? So she's just going to hold your leash just right now for safety purposes.
Good girl.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what was your name?
Prescott.
Prescott, okay. I'm horrible with names. If I mess your name up or I've asked you 10 times, please don't take it personally, okay? Most of the time I call you mom and dad. You're not my mom and dad. It's just easier that way. All right, here's what I'm going to do. You can get on one knee for me. No, you're not proposing to me. Okay? I want you to take your left hand with food in it, put it underneath your left leg. Okay, just like that. I want you to lead the dog this way. Keep leading him this way. Keep your hand low, all the way to the ground. Put your hand all the way to the ground. Hold it right there. Don't move it. Don't move it. And feed. So what did we just do right there? We're basically teaching the dog muscle memory, how to down correctly. Then he tosses a piece of food and says free. Okay, let's try it again. Reload. Remember, we want to do a bunch of these in a very short amount of time. The quicker we can do these, the quicker the dog's going to learn the behavior. We'll do it 1 or 2 more times, and then we'll release you guys to do it.
I want to be repeating the command like when I feed her, right?
So that is a really good point. I'm going to really confuse you with this next thing. Here, help him do it a couple more times down, okay? Keep watching him while I explain this to you. If I walk up to my friend Odie, watch this. Odie, tomatoes.
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 Tomatoes. Now, when I say tomatoes, I really want her to stand up. Now, did she stand up?
No.
Okay. But what happens if I take and I hold $100 above her head? Then what is she going to do?
Stand up.
Okay, now, if I do that 10 times, the 11th time I walk up to her, I start to hold $10 above her head, or $100 above her head, what is she going to do? Okay, now I walk up, I hold $100 above her head, say tomatoes, what is she going to do? Now I do that 10 times, now what does she learn the word tomatoes means? Okay, so I know this is hard, but we teach the muscle memory before the command. We teach the muscle memory before the command. Because let's say I do it 10 times, and out of 10 times, she only stands up 3 times. Is she going to learn what tomatoes means, or is she going to be confused what tomato means? Okay? However, let's say when I say tomatoes, she stands up at least 7 times, and 3 times she doesn't. Then we can say hypothetically that she is standing up, she's understanding the muscle memory. Does that make sense? So until your dog can down correctly, we don't put the command to it. When your dog starts offering you the correct behavior, then you can pair the command to it. Does that make sense? Okay. So, will you do me a favor? Will you grab that pipe up there?
Can you also say why we use free instead of okay?
Yes. I don't like the word okay to release a dog because we use it too much in our daily verbiage. Can you imagine putting your dog in a down at a park and you yell to your spouse, okay, bring the barbecue, and the dog hears the word okay and takes off? Is it dog fault or our fault? Rebecca, oh, thank you. Can you hold that in? Odie, come here, please. So if you can't get on your knees and you have difficulty getting down, like my friend here, Odie, we are going to, okay, bring that low. Odie, step over that. Tara's loving this. Okay, put your hand underneath the pipe.
Like this? Right?
Yep. Okay, bring your hand this way. There you go. Now towards you. Bring the pipe up a little bit, ladies. Okay. Okay, keep going, keep going. Keep going, Odie. Drop one right there. Drop another one right outside his reach. Drop another one right outside his reach. Good, now stop. Oh, okay, try it again. Yep. Okay, you guys understand the concept, right? If you can't get on your knee, you guys can use a broomstick. Here's what I want you to do. Stand up. They're going to keep doing this. Let's see you guys try to do down with your knees. If not, then we'll use the pipe. Since your dog is so big, if it can't go underneath your knees, we'll use a pipe, okay?
Okay.
Nice job. Next time, free. But I'm going to show you a little better way. Take some food. Wait. I want him in a stand. So walk backwards a little bit. Okay. I want you to feed him while you walk back. Feed. Now take your hand, go underneath him. And push in. I want you to push into him.
Into him?
Just a little bit. No, just not that much. Not that aggressive, okay? He'll down quicker.
All right, here. Let's go over here. Come here.
Okay. Now go underneath him. Underneath him. Right there. Stop. There you go.
That was a lot quicker.
It was a lot quicker.
And I want it quick.
You want it quick? You'll get it quick.
All right, cool.
He's a nice puppy.
Oh, I hope so.
You
I
gotta
tried to get rid of all the chances that could have been by picking the breeder. So.
Do you remember the name of the breeder?
Smoking Gun Ranch, and her name is. I actually have it queued up on my phone
Oh, before you leave, I'll take a look. Okay, cool. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. How old
I
is
think my
he?
husband must have fed him breakfast this morning.
He's not really that enthused. How old is he?
6.5.
6.5. Wow. Okay. A couple things. Get some weight on. He's really heavy. Okay. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Oh no, I know he is.
Okay.
I injured myself. He's my running partner, and we both gained like 15 pounds. Well,
I know that.
He didn't gain 15 pounds, but
I know
over
that
the
feeling.
winter, yeah,
I know that
so.
feeling. But it's easy for dogs to lose weight because you're dictating their food intake.
Right.
Okay. So a good mathematical principle: every pound that you're overweight, he's 2 pounds overweight. It's that critical on his body. Okay. It wears his body down, and he's having some difficulty moving a little bit. He's really stiff.
He hurt himself yesterday at the creek,
Oh, okay.
so he's not quite his normal.
Yeah, if you didn't tell me he's
agile
6,
self.
I thought he was going to be like 9 or 10. I mean, he's really
Yeah,
stiff.
he's usually a lot more agile.
Then I probably wouldn't be doing this with him tonight. If he's stiff, this is going to be kind of hard on him. Give him a like couple days to kind of recoup, and then try this at home. Okay. Okay. And yeah, don't feed him on days we come.
No, and I think my husband probably fed him.
Did you?
He
Okay.
doesn't usually feed him.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, let's sit back down. How'd it go, guys?
Still not eating them.
Still not eating it? Did you give them cheese?
No, not yet.
Can they borrow a couple pieces of cheese? Here, actually, let's try the cheese first. Try the cheese, ladies, and see if it likes it. Okay, let's sit back down. Let's sit back down. Was anybody besides the Big Shepherd not able to get their dog down? Everybody pretty much have success? Okay, yes. Okay, so once the dog's down, feed it a couple times. We're going to go over a little bit of time. Is that okay? Because I talk a lot. I apologize. So it's really, really, really important. The first time the animal makes the correct decision, we want to throw the dog a party. Anybody understand throwing the dog a party? Okay? Do what? Celebrate, right. Can you imagine if you sat down at a slot machine and within 3 pulls you win $1,000? Would you be excited?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you win that $1,000, what happens? Does a little receipt come out and says, "Oh, congratulations," or do lights go off and coins start falling and all this big happens, right? The moment that happens, your brain is engaged. Your brain says, "Wait a minute, wow, I just won this huge jackpot." Okay? It basically threw you a human party. So the moment your dog does something right for the very first time, feed it 3 or 4 treats in a row, but not all in one handful. If you feed the dog in one handful, it's like one bite to the dog. If you feed the dog 3 or 4 in a row, it's a higher value party to the dog. Does that make sense? Okay. So when to pair the command to the behavior. If you can do it at least 5 to 10 times and your dog does it correctly, in other words, your dog does it quickly, your dog downs correctly the way you want the dog to down, then start putting the command to it. But don't pair the command to it until the dog is doing it correctly. Does that make sense? It's really, really important. The verbiage does not matter. I teach my dogs in German for a couple different reasons. One, when I go do school demos, kids think, "Oh man, this dog's from Germany, it speaks German. That's amazing." It doesn't matter, okay? And 2, it impresses the women. So, but that's the only reasons why I really do it, to be honest with you. I had a client that taught her dog in colors. Red meant sit, green meant down. It does not matter, okay? The consistency does matter more than anything else, okay? Yes?
Do you find that, oh, of course you're going to act out. Do you find that using not everyday words makes them react a little bit quicker?
Sure, I mean, well...
Just out of curio on why people,
Okay, well, that's a really good question. So, my friend Odie here.
Yeah.
Don't do this, Odie, but... Come. Okay? Odie, can you come here? Now, which one is she going to realize? Come. Okay, Odie, come here, please. Okay, so, normally we don't talk to each other like we do the dog. This is how the dog differentiates between a command and us talking to our husband. Come here, please. Does that make sense?
Well, there's always the come here, please husband.
Yeah, but I doubt you're saying, come here, dog. You're probably just saying come. And you want to keep your commands single syllable, okay? Not, come here, Smokey, I really like you. Because what did the dog just hear? The dog just heard blah, 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 coming, and blah, 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 blah. Okay? You want a single syllable. Sit, down, come, stay, crate, you know, whatever the command is. Okay? Who here has not been able to get the dog to sit? Has anybody not taught the dog to sit yet? Okay, well, I tell you what, we're actually out of time, and I have another class starting here in a couple minutes. So next week we're going to make up. So tonight we worked on engagement. We worked on engagement. We worked on free, and we worked on the down. So this week, if I can tell you to work on anything more than anything else, work on engagement. Work on playing with your dog. Work on and building a relationship with your dog. If you can take, really listen to this, if you can take 5 minutes 3 times out of your day to work with your dog every day for a week, you're going to get more success out of your dog than working with your dog a single hour every day with your dog. Okay? Lessons need to be short and compact. Lessons need to be short and fun, engaging. It's much like this. Watch this. What grade are you guys in? Okay. If next year you found out you had to go to school for 15 hours, would you be that excited? No. You see her face like, are you kidding me? I don't even want to go for 6 hours right now, okay? Your dogs are much the same way. It's just, if we ask them to do a really long lesson, even though they're enjoying training, do I have to do this anymore, right? But if lessons are short and compact, you're going to get way more out of your dog, okay? If you guys have any questions, stay in your seat. I'll come around and help you. If not, then I'll see you next week. If you have one of this young lady's collars, please make sure you either purchase them or return them before you guys leave, okay? You guys did really good. I'm always open for questions throughout the week. Either call, email me, text me, smoke signal, however you need to get a hold of me. Let me know and I'm glad to help you, okay? I will see you guys next week. You're welcome.